Hello, everybody. Welcome to our astro forecast for the week of November the 16th through the 23rd. Today, right now, it is Monday, November the 17th of 2025. Typically, I do these on Friday night or Saturday morning, so you guys have some time to look over them. However, we had some family crisis happen this past weekend, and that's why I rescheduled our class so that everybody would have time to catch up on this. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Today, it's a little bit of a retrospect reading. We know that now Mercury is retrograde, Jupiter is retrograde. So we have a lot of retrograde planets in the sky right now. Now, Saturn is coming up on going direct. We have a lot of different moving pieces, even though Uranus has been retrograde for months. It did just retrograde back to 29 degrees of Taurus last week, which is a really big deal as we head into our new moon in Scorpio this week, because that new moon is going to be almost exactly opposite Uranus. And with all these retrogrades going on right now, it should be a relatively enlightening week as to how much has changed over the last 8 years. This is our one kind of step back into what longstanding structures have changed, what's getting a checkpoint, where are you getting tested. So let's get into it. So early this morning, like I said, it's Monday the 17th. The sun came into a trine with Jupiter. So the sun is at 25 degrees of Scorpio today, exactly conjunct Black Moon Lilith. A lot of frustration, anger, conversations around divorce, or even just challenges like shadow energy coming out of either yourself or others. She definitely brings up rage. I've had my own conversations with Lilith over the weekend as she's been on my Saturn. But this aspect with the sun trine Jupiter is actually extremely lucky. I was born with my sun trine Jupiter as well. They say that it puts a mark of luck on a person. It is a great day for a baby to be born in that regard. I mean, they have almost every planet retrograde, but they would still have luck because of that aspect. There is also like this opportunity of time for compassion and generosity. It just depends on how you feel like you're being seen and heard or not because of Black Moon Lilith in the mix. Not too long after that, the sun also trined Saturn, which is at 25 degrees retrograde in Pisces, which brings this drive for achievement, discipline, getting your ducks in a row, recognition for efforts that you may have made earlier, or seeing the fruition of discipline that you have had for yourself over time. My partner and I have been reflecting on how well we handled this past weekend despite all of the chaos. And then we were able to really stay focused and disciplined, and it played off for us major in the divorce conversation that they're going through. But it can really like bring this sense of checkpoint on discipline, what you've learned and how you're going to practice. Okay. All right. Mercury was also sextile Pluto, like almost like a couple of hours after that. So Mercury sextile Pluto brings these really deep conversations into the mix. Mercury is the messenger and he has a lot to say, but he is crossing back into the late degrees of Scorpio. What we're really working our way up to in this conversation today is going to be our new moon in Scorpio. It's the most important part of the entire week, next to the next day, which is the sun exactly opposite Uranus. But our really big days of action are going to be Wednesday and Thursday because of the Uranus activations that are happening. So on Wednesday, also today, Monday, the moon moved into Scorpio, which is where we're going to have our new moon. So it takes on this kind of heavier, intense, emotional, intense psychological effect. Anytime the moon is in Scorpio, it asks us to dig deep, to make us feel things. It happened at 4:44 today, so about 20 minutes ago at the time of this reading. And everything should take on an edge of intensity, emotional depth, shadows, and potential power plays. Just keeping that in mind. Tuesday is really chill, guys. You're just kind of feeling into what this new moon is going to be. And I know I've said it multiple times, but this new moon is really about these late degree moons in the last part of our year. All of them are either 28 or 29 degrees, which are the karmic degrees, where we're really trying to finalize some things. We're coming into the last, month and a half of 2025, the number 9 snake year. It's shedding your skin. It's shedding these old past things. And that's what Uranus, especially opposite Mercury, the sun, and the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of transformation and is also known as a snake, the serpent, because it sheds its skin with growth. So we are in this like real high octave of what is transforming, what is still being tested, what is still transforming, what is shedding skin to make room for new birth, new growth. And we'll get into that more as we get to that part. All right. So on Wednesday, Mercury is going to be the first of the planets to oppose Uranus at 29 degrees of Taurus. So Mercury rules the mind. And around the same time on Wednesday, he's also going to try Neptune as he continues to move backwards. And that energy will be held from today until about Friday. All of this energy is working its way right now. There's a bunch of activation. This week is meant to bring change and transformation. This is the last time that we're going to have a new moon opposite Uranus in Taurus and Scorpio for the next 84 years. This cycle, when Uranus was in Taurus, which is where my north and south node is, which has been from April of 2018 until about February of 2026, has been a period of extreme change. I mean, absolutely extreme change. And we're meant to reflect. We're meant to look back at everything that has changed, what kind of values we're going to rebuild and reset in its place, Taurus, and what we're still transforming and needing to change and alchemize. So we're really looking at the power of, again, like I said, Wednesday and Thursday. So on Thursday at 1:47 a.m., we will have our new moon at 28 degrees of Scorpio. And it just is, it's got a lot going on, guys. It really does, because Mercury, the moon, and the sun are all in a trine to Saturn and Jupiter retrograde. So there's this great big grand water trine. And grand water trines are known for healing and transformation and mystery and your soul, like your intuition, your feelings, the things that really need to be alchemized in the cauldron of becoming and unbecoming. So this is a time where your, spidey senses could be very elevated. You could be more attuned. You can sense that your perception and your sensitivity are like at a very high octave, with Uranus playing so much this week. Also with Mercury in the mix, you could feel a lot of anxiety. It can feel like an unstable week. You can feel like your nerves are kind of on edge. You really do want to slow down and take your time, especially with Neptune in the mix. Neptune clouds things. It creates this kind of mysterious void, but also a smoke and mirrors effect. And with everything retrograde right now, you don't want to take a lot of brand new actions because they could easily get dissolved when it stations direct and goes back over these aspects. So you want to kind of think about things that you've been working on for the last 8 years with Uranus in Taurus. These long-standing conversations, and where you would look in your chart is going to be Scorpio and Taurus. These are very important periods of time. I'm definitely paying attention to this because This is a 6-month checkpoint of when I got very sick and I went to the hospital. And now I'm going back to the hospital again to have an organ removed on that day, specifically on that day. So there's a lot going on with, uncovering this kind of mysterious illness and problems that I've had, but almost every single thing that I have learned along the way of this mystery health crisis is that I have too much stress in my life and it's unsustainable, and my body is taking the brunt for it. And I have to focus on what works and to be efficient and to not expand past what I can handle, my body can handle right now. And that has been a big enlightenment for me, for sure. But the aspect that is happening on Thursday, there are so many of them. Like I said, there is a grand water trine. It's very harmonious, especially with Jupiter in this trine to Saturn at 25 degrees retrograde in Pisces. They are really trying to work together to help us achieve and overcome our problems with a long-term strategy and plan. But they're also asking us to deepen into our feelings, to our body, to our home, to gauge the temperature of what's happening at home, and to build things that are sustainable and also create security and space for you to be able to be home or have some sense of security with your family. And that really brings it up. And then around 4:23 a.m. on Thursday morning, the sun conjuncts Mercury and we have a cazimi. So Thursday is a very important day because of the fact that cazimis only happen about 3 times a year. And it is when the sun enters the heart, or Mercury enters the heart of the sun. And it really highlights exactly what our purpose is. It gives us these very clear moments of clarity, strategy, purpose, intention. We're able to see very, very clearly. And where this is going to happen is at 29 degrees of Scorpio, exactly opposite Uranus. So it is a big awakening week. It's like I've told you guys, Uranus kind of works like you go down to the basement and you pull the light cord and you can see for about 30 seconds. And then the light cord just like, the fuse blows. There's too much energy. The light bulb can't hold the energy. And you better remember what you saw for those 30 seconds. You better write it down. You better put it in a audio file, something like that, because it's a great day for channeling. To have a cazimi with Mercury and the sun the same day, Mercury is opposite Uranus, is breakthrough. It is mental breakthrough. It is also a way to fry your nervous system if you are not taking care of it, or your body. You want to drink water, you want to move, you want to ground. Remember, like I told you, Uranus is a lightning bolt. And if your feet are not on the earth, you can just get cooked by the lightning, So making sure that you slow down, take care of your body, drink water, eat grounding food, keep your feet on the earth if you can, at least on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Spend at least 10 to 30 minutes with your bare feet. I know it's cold, but just get your feet on the neutral earth. It will help significantly. If you can't do that, then exercise. You need to breathe, you need to sweat. Uranus creates anxiety and this feeling like something has to change. And if we're not aware, sometimes we can just self-sabotage by just burning things down because we don't know what to do. All right. By the time we wake up in the morning on Thursday, the moon will have already passed, and the moon will be in Sagittarius, about to meet Mars. So my big thing and why I said it's Wednesday is that it's not exact on Wednesday, but all of the peak energy that we are awake for is happening on Wednesday, because the exactitude happens around 1:50 a.m. on Thursday, but that whole day of Wednesday is peak energy. So Wednesday, Thursday, and then, like I said, the moon will be in Sagittarius on Thursday, and it will meet Mars. And that's intense, guys. The same time, around 9:30 in the morning on Thursday, Uranus is also sextiling Neptune. And it's going to be there for a while. And it started to actually, sextile it on July 7th when it's moved into Uranus and Uranus moved into Gemini. But it will be there until December 30th, almost the new year. So it is really trying to bring in creativity and open mindfulness. Taurus and Pisces are in a sextile together. They work really well. They're very harmonious. Taurus asks, like, can we put legs on that? Like, where's your plan? Where's your financing? Like, let's get it in order. And Pisces is able to dream and to think and to visualize and to create vision. So keep that in mind, that those flashes of insight and creativity are really going to be trying to channel through you at this point, now that Uranus is back in Taurus for the last time for 84 years. Friday is another big day. So Friday, the sun is going to oppose Uranus. It's going to feel like a continuation of the previous 2 days before it. I'm just telling you guys, Wednesday through Friday is intense. It is days of awakening, insight, new things, shocking news. But they are like things from the past. They're not new, brand new things. These are old things from the past resurfacing back around to test us, to test our resolve. Saturn's in play. So our goal is to use all of our new skills, all of our healing, all of our intuition, our boundaries, our values. And when these tests come around, to hold your ground. That's Taurus. Okay. Don't let these changing circumstances change you. Instead, you respond to the energy. Don't let the energy force you how to respond. That's a true sign of healing in this work. Okay. And then, the sun is in a trine to Neptune. So again, it's like we've got Uranus and Neptune. These are transpersonal planets. They want to create new realities. They want to inspire belief. They want you to open your mind, to stay curious, to see things from a different perspective. But they also do a lot of this by creating confusion and shock. So don't be surprised if you feel a little foggy-headed about this. All right. Now on Saturday, Mercury is going to trine Saturn, and the moon's going to move into Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. And Mercury is then going to trine Jupiter that same day. So Saturday is a really great day for restructure and regrounding after a week of chaos. Try your best to rest on Saturday and do things that are like structuring, your budget, or structuring your winter clothes and clearing the summer clothes out of your closet. It's like lists and things that are calming. They're not too much. Also, you could do like fall winterizing yard work, or put up your Christmas decorations. It's a time to kind of come down, but it also gives you a lot of ambition and discipline when the moon's in Capricorn. Okay. And last but not least, definitely not least, the sun is going to sextile Pluto. So that is a very intense energy. The sun magnifies what it touches because it's bringing a light. And then, because we're by the end of this week, the sun's going to move into Sagittarius. So we will have the sun, coming into this very clear aspect to Pluto, now direct at 1 degree of Aquarius. Sagittarius and Aquarius are besties because they love freedom. They love not being told what to do. They love wide open spaces. They love progress. They love learning new cultures. They're very open-minded, or can be quite zealots. So just keep some of those things in mind. All right. So again, remembering that our big conversation is around this new moon in Scorpio, what has transformed and what still needs to shed. And it may feel like you're just like, what else has to go? Lauren, I let it all go. But Scorpio is different than just things like, I quit that job and I've got a new job. I left that relationship, I've got a new relationship. It is things like mindsets and fears and our belief systems, and what's really deep in our subconscious from our inner child and our shadow, especially with Black Moon Lilith as a part of this grand water trine this week. So just keep it in mind that there are these aspects that are happening to shake things up in a positive direction. If you can stay open-minded, if you can stay curious, if you can have faith, Neptune, and have some ability to take action. The sun is in the late degrees of Scorpio. These are very intense degrees. They're very psychologically exhausting and intense, and it rules death, you know, like death of all kinds of things, even physical death. So just remember that when the sun moves into Sagittarius, it is such a shift, guys. I mean, it is such a crazy shift in energy. It's kind of like when you know, the sun moves from Pisces to Aries. It's very similar. When the sun moves from Scorpio to Sagittarius, Sagittarius is about having fun and is usually an Enneagram 7. It just wants to experience the world. It's like a horse, you know, wants to gallop and aim. That's why it is Chiron, you know, that has an archer and a bow, because he just wants to move. So we're in these last couple of days, but man, the emotional intensity towards asking questions of like what's under that psychological depth work is intense. But it's also a moment for great transformation that you've been waiting for. It doesn't have to be bad, guys. It could be that it's like this last kind of moment of like, look at everything I've been working on over the last 8 years coming into fruition that I get to celebrate. You get to stand back and be like, wow, so much has changed. Yes, there's still some chaos around these things because it's getting settled. That's what happens when Uranus makes its last dip back in. But I'm so proud of all of the work that I've done to, you know, restructure my life, to rebuild foundations, to re-script my values, to re-script the things that I embody, Taurus. I'm so proud of myself. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And again, I will see you guys in class. Please make sure that you check out the tarot prompt. There's only going to be one prompt this week. It's all about the new moon in Scorpio. And it will keep it easy for me to be able to answer everybody's questions. I will be going over everybody's charts, whether you're there or not. It's an astro coaching class. So I will definitely be taking all of these things in consideration, as well as your tarot cards. But the class will, every single person that's in the class will get a reading. And the only thing that you are responsible for is your tarot card pool. Okay. But no matter what, I'll read your charts. Thank you guys for your patience and your grace, as my family has been definitely going through the last week of Scorpio season kind of energy. And I hope that you guys are able to come tomorrow. And if not, then maybe you guys can come to the threshold on Wednesday. Otherwise, I will see you guys after fall break on December the 1st. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.